A man accused of shooting at Omaha Police is now out of the hospital and in jail. On October 16th, so 2 weeks ago, officers were called to 152nd and Spencer for reported burglary. Investigators say 55-year-old Dean Weiss allegedly broke into the home of a woman he knew and then fired at officers. He was hospitalized after police reportedly returned fire and a police dog bit him. Detectives believe the alleged break-in was a domestic violence incident. A high